Oh, hello. Oh, dear me. Welcome to Drunken Rambles. I believe this is number 7. I'm not too sure, but I think we're on number 7. I think that's quite a good thing. To celebrate the fact that it's a Drunken Rambles, and mainly because I can, this is a live Drunken Rambles. This is at 2 o'clock in the morning on what is now Sunday, the 23rd of March. Uh, March, yeah, 2014. Sorry, I had to check my months. That is just how drunk I am. This isn't necessarily one where I am drinking. In fact, I've kind of done all my drinking for tonight. And do you know what the really weird thing is? Well, I'll come on to it in a minute, but basically I've had 3 pints of beer tonight. And that is what has got me drunk. 3 pints of beer. Yeah. I'm so great. Um, this is going out on YouTube. Obviously, it is being recorded for YouTube as well. So if you're watching this at a later date, hi. If you're watching this live on YouTube as it's being broadcast, then please feel free to come over to the Google Plus. You'll be able to join in with the chat feature and everything like that, and everything will be great. The chat is live on this, so I may well get interrupted at some points, but hopefully I won't, and I will just be able to drunkenly ramble on and on and on. You know how this goes. Okay, so there's a couple of things that have been happening to me over the past couple of when did I listen to Drunken Rambles? I think it was last weekend I did a Drunken Rambles. So in the past week, there's been several things that have happened. First of all, I am kind of personally pushing for, and this is going to sound really, really strange, but I'm actually pushing for a society where people don't have to come out about their sexuality. Yeah, that sounds like a big dream, doesn't it? And in effect, yeah, it is. I mean, I've got reasons for doing this. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it because obviously the people that are involved in the situation might want to learn about it. But all I can say is, you know, people's sexuality in a lot of cases is personal to them. And there is so many reasons why a person's sexuality can be personal to them. It can be the fact that, okay, yeah, they don't want the world knowing their sexuality, in which case, fair enough. But there's other reasons, you know, why people wouldn't want to share their sexuality. And one of the reasons might be that you know, they might get disowned by the family, they might be frightened of abuse. There is just loads of reasons, and I don't see why, as a kind of society, we should actually be bothered about people's sexuality anymore. I mean, for fuck's sake, it's 2014. Like, have we not moved on from this shit where we actually have to care about what people's sexuality is? I mean, I'm totally straight. Moving on. Yes, so how have I come to be drunk tonight? You may well not be wondering, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Basically, I have been doing a 21st party tonight, and the building that I was in now has 2 function rooms. I'm in the new function room, and we had another DJ who was in the old function room. He was doing an 18th birthday party, I was doing the 21st, and when I got in there and was looking through all the like expected statistics, as we call them in the profession and in every other profession, there was supposed to be, let me get this right, there was supposed to be 80 people that was turning up for my, well, not my 21st, but for the 21st birthday that I was doing tonight. And in the main function room, which I should probably point out to you at this point, the main function room holds up to 250 people, and I think they were expecting about 40 or 50 people. Shall I tell you the statistics for the night? The 18th, that was in the large function room, again, the function room holds up to 250 people. Maximum head count tonight was 20. Yeah, that's quite awkward. The people that I had in my room, at most I counted 32 people that have come in. So the big function room they called last orders on their bar first. And then it got to 11 o'clock. I was supposed to be finishing at 12 anyway. It got to 11 o'clock, and I counted that there was 20 people in the room that I was in, and it looked bare. No one was up dancing. They weren't giving me songs to kind of play or anything like that. And I just thought, you know what? Why am I even carrying on with this? So I checked with the manager, and long story short is my last song went on at 20 past 11. I packed up my laptop and everything like that, and I was in the main function room for about 11:30, which is when they were finishing, all the DJ and they was finishing, and yeah, both nights were just a complete disaster. And I do feel really bad for the people whose parties it were, because you know they do spend a lot of money doing these kind of things. You know, buffets don't come cheap these days, and yeah, there'd been a lot of money wasted tonight. Like the amount of food that we've had to bin is incredible. You know, and like the DJ in the other room tonight said, you know, that there is that many people these days that are reliant on food banks. You know, and then you look at how much food is getting thrown away from them buffets at night, and you have to think that could keep a food bank going for a week, and yet we have to throw it away. And it's sickening and it's disturbing and everything like that. But to be fair, there is actual laws in place. The fact that, you know, if a buffet's been out for a certain period of time, it has to be binned. And there is no way around that because it's food that is exposed to open air, and obviously, you know, it's something that I personally would like to see it changed, but I can't see it being changed anytime soon. Such is the laws of the United Kingdom at the moment. I'm just going to try and focus my camera. Is that any better? I think that might be slightly better. Hang on, am I going more blurred? Yeah, I'm going more blurred there. Am I clear there? I'm quite clear. Welcome to HD. Okay, so Drunken Rambles, and obviously the main thing of Drunken Rambles is we go through the news and I drunkenly ramble on about the news. There has been some quite interesting news recently. I'm not going to lie to you in that. But there is also some news which is kind of still breaking news for in the UK at the moment, and that is a story that we are actually going to go through together, because I've not had a chance to read it before actually coming on air. Because I programmed this for 2 in the morning, clicked all the buttons and everything, and before I know it, it's 2 in the morning. So I was like, oh, shit. Okay, so first bit of news that we're going to go through is China jet boosts Malaysia plane hunt. There was a thing I read the other day, and it was really interesting and actually quite encouraging to see the fact that other countries around the world are now sending assistance to help find this missing airplane that kind of the world knows about at the moment. I think it's really good the fact that we are all joining in with this search. You know, I think we are getting to the point now where everyone's kind of getting to the realization of we are not going to find any survivors with this. I think that's kind of established maybe last week at some point, but we're not going to find survivors. And for the people that think that that's the reason that we're going out searching, it's not. The reason that we're going out searching now is because we need to find out what has happened to this plane. You know, there's a lot of people that are saying that the Malaysian government are doing a cover-up, that they know something that they're not telling us about and all this kind of stuff. And I think, certainly from the Western point of view, we need to kind of quash any rumours that are going on. We need to get to the actual facts of this thing. We need to go, okay, do you know what? This is what has happened, this is why it happened, and this is what we're going to change in the future, and let's move on from it. That to me is all that can happen with this. And I know it will be really distressing because I know a lot of people haven't come to peace with the idea that we're not going to find any survivors from this, but we do have to face reality at some point. You know, it's like I said in the last Drunken Rambles video. You know, there was a plane that went down just out of Halifax in Canada. Still can't remember the name of the company, but I remember it's Flight 111 that went down. Still not coming to me. Yeah, I don't remember what company it was. But I did go on about it in the past Drunken Rambles video. If you can catch that, then feel free to watch it. But basically, this plane had smoke that was detected in the cockpit of the plane, or the flight deck, as it's now called, because cockpit is kind of given a lot to dirty-minded people like me. So smoke was detected in the flight deck, and it, the pilots on the plane followed the procedure for smoke of unknown origin, and they like shut off power to the cabin and all that kind of stuff. And before they knew it, it had turned into a full-on fire. That plane was unflyable, and it literally went out over sea and off radar, and it was in bits. I mean, I think if I remember rightly, there was over 2 million pieces that were recovered from the airplane, from the wreckage, from what they could find. No survivors were ever found of it. And like I said, the plane was found over in 2 million pieces. They actually reconstructed parts of the plane, which is the front part, and I don't actually know to this day if they found all of the pieces of that plane. Even though they found 2 million pieces of it, it is an incredible fact. And personally, I think it's something like that that has caused this plane to go down. Not many people seem to want to buy into the theory, but part of me just thinks, you know what, you can't ignore that there could well have just been a complete electrical failure right across the aeroplane. It is possible. And that could have caused it not only to go off radar, but literally drop out the sky. If a plane drops out the sky, if you want to look into it, feel free to Google it. But if a plane drops out the sky past a certain degrees, it literally can go underwater and never be seen again. There is lots of factors to it, like how fast it was going, how high, all this kind of stuff. But it is possible, like quite easily possible. The thing that I saw the other day was saying that, like, the United Kingdom, we've sent over a submarine. It named other countries and what they've sent over. Like, there's been a lot of helicopters sent over, a lot of submarines, a lot of boats, all that kind of stuff. And it is actually quite encouraging to see that there is other countries getting involved in this, in the actual search. But I hate to be critical of this, but it could have been done sooner. Hashtag just saying. It could have been done sooner. I also think that the Malaysian government, in fact, the surrounding countries of where this plane has gone missing, I actually think that they could have done more sooner. And that is quite a heavy thing to say, but it is true. In my opinion, they could have done more and faster. And these other countries that have got involved at the moment, and it's not to say that they shouldn't have got involved or anything like that, but it could have been done sooner. The sooner that a sort of, not so much a recovery thing that goes on, but certainly a bigger search could have happened sooner. And it's not to say that we could have found survivors if we would have, started searching sooner, but it is possible. So, just saying on that. There is images of debris that have apparently been found to do with this missing airplane. I personally don't think it's going to amount to anything. If you remember a couple of weeks ago, there was debris that was found on a satellite image then. Turned out to be nothing. They're saying that more debris images have been found. Probably going to turn out to be nothing. I mean, the thing is, it's not to say that this debris doesn't exist at all. Not to say that. But, these satellite images that we get, they're not recent images. These things take hours to come through to us. So by the time that we've got someone out there to that exact location, the chances are that bit of debris is going to have gone back under the water, and you're not going to find it. Like I said in the last Drunken Rambles video, the thing that we need to do is we need to send along one of these submarines or a boat or whatever it is, scan the sea. Let's send fucking radar down there. Let's get it checked out. We will probably find it that way. But whatever. I'm not in charge of these. They didn't promote me. What the fuck ever. But on a very serious note with that, there are several points that go with it. First thing is, you are still safe flying. You know, the amount of planes that go missing, literally drop out the sky, whatever, is minuscule. Like it fucking never happens. Like this is really, really rare. Um, the other thing is that eventually we will find out the truth. We will, whether it is in a couple of months, whether it is in a couple of years, whatever it is, we will find out the truth. It just takes time to find these things. Um, and yeah, that's basically all I can say about it. Until it's found, there isn't anything that anyone can say. Um, One of the things, again, I said in the last video, and I'll say it again in this video, is we need to stop believing the news agencies as much when they come out with these stories and they're all like, well, such and such thing might have happened. And, it gets to the point you're just like, hang on, should we not just find it first and then go through the facts? Because a lot of these news channels are trying to say, well, this is breaking news and this is what has happened. And you're like, well, shut the fuck up. We don't know what's happened. That's why we're fucking looking for it still. You know? It just boggles my mind the fact that there is news on this every single day, and unbelievably, we don't find something every day. How is that breaking news? You tell me. Right, okay, on to let me check the chat feature. Has anyone chatted? No, they haven't. Nice one. Like I said, this is 2 in the morning, so I'm not actually expecting anyone to be awake watching this or anything like that. So, whatever. If you are watching this though, and you're watching it on the YouTube channel, then go to the BevRants Google Plus page. You'll be able to show it on the chat feature. Blah blah blah. Okay, let's go on to the news story that I was going to say we are going to discover about it together, because this literally is kind of still breaking news. There is still stuff developing on this. Basically, the story leads with the title of Teenage Girl Shot Dead in London. A teenage girl thought to be aged about 15 has been shot dead in East London, the Metropolitan Police has said. Now, the Metropolitan Police, for anyone who's wondering, is basically London's police. It's nothing major. Police were called shortly before 4 p.m. to an address in Eastway, Hackney, which is a part of London. The girl was pronounced dead at the 16, and 3 youths under 18 were arrested nearby and taken to custody in an East London police station. Officers attended the scene together with London Ambulance Service and London Air Ambulance Service, and police believe that they've identified the girl and have now begun informing the family, and they are awaiting formal identification. I'm not going to continue with the rest of the story because obviously that's kind of what's happened right there. This is something that we need to address. Not so much for in the UK, but certainly America, where this has been a hot topic for quite a while. Probably quite a few of you can assume rightly in that, yes, I'm going to mention about the school, because we all know what happened in that school when the kids in that class lost their lives, and we found out that it is one of the teacher's sons that did it. He found a gun at home and literally went to the school. He shot his mother dead, and he shot the kids in that class dead, and I think others were injured or something like that. I'm going to mention it, and people probably know why, because I am so supportive of guns being banned, completely banned. I don't see why they were invented in the first place. Really don't. There was an incident when I was growing up in the UK that happened in Dunblane, which is kind of similar to what happened in America. It's basically a load of school kids ended up losing their lives. They weren't involved in the situation, and they were shot dead. And that's just the blunt way of putting it. Same thing happened in America. When it happened over here, when Dunblane happened, the laws changed in the United Kingdom to basically say guns are banned unless you've got a license. the only way that you can actually legally get a license for a gun in the United Kingdom now is if you're going to be shooting wildlife, and even then there's restrictions on it. Um, I think that's the only one actually. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's the only one that you can actually get a license for now is basically pest control. Like one of the things that happened not that long ago was the badger cull. That was a delight. There was a rise of I can't remember what disease it was. There was a rise of a disease in the United Kingdom, and the government basically said, "Oh, it's the badgers that have caused that, so we're going to kill 1,000 badgers." And then they allowed the people to go out. They killed 1,000 badgers, and the disease is still on the increase. Slight failure, but that's for a different video. Um, what happened in America with the school children isn't a first incident, and unfortunately, it's not going to be the last. I know that Obama came out and he said, we're going to change the laws, and these children will not have died in vain. What laws did he actually change? Still legal to buy a gun in America. You can still carry rounds of ammunition on you. Okay, you're limited to, what is it, 20 something per something, but you can carry the extra amount of the something in something else, and nothing changed. The wording of the laws changed. Nothing actually changed. That incident could happen again tomorrow. Well, okay, maybe not tomorrow because it's Sunday. That incident could happen again at any time. What's changed? I know a lot of people say that, oh well, they still have gun crime in the United Kingdom. It hasn't completely cleared it up. No, it hasn't. We still have a gun problem because guns are still made in this world. For as long as guns remain and they're being made, right across the world, we will still have problems with it. But our statistics about people that are killed by guns is considerably less than in the United States. That's just a fact. That's genuine statistic. I can't speak because I'm drunk. That's genuine statistics right there. This thing that's happened in London, the fact that it's teenagers involved is really, really disturbing. I mean, okay, the fact that anyone's involved is disturbing, but the fact that these kids are that young, it's 3 youths aged under 18 that are killing people. And I think there is a lot of lessons that need to be learned about this. Okay, first things first, where did they get the gun from? That needs to be looked into, like, right away. Where the fuck did they get the gun from? Where did they get the ammunition from? Was it the same place? Do we need to look at a different avenue? What kind of environment were these kids brought up in, where at any age they think that shooting someone dead is acceptable in any way? I mean, I was brought up that my mum told me the story about when she was growing up, and basically she was bullied as a kid. One bully came up to her and started saying something, and my mum kicked him in the shins, and the bully went off, never bullied her again. So that was kind of the thing of, you know what, if someone's bullying you, bully them back, and they won't be half as strong. Speak up for yourself, that kind of thing. But even with that kind of attitude, being brought up with that, I was never brought up to think, go and get a gun, shoot them dead. That wasn't my mentality. It wasn't my parents' mentality or anything like that. It's really disturbing. So we need to look into the pasts of these children that are involved, all of them. We need to look at the actual incident. What led to this? What had happened earlier on in the day? Had this been kind of brewing up? Should someone have informed the police sooner? That kind of thing. It's kind of too early to speculate on this. Like I said, this is literally still breaking news. I am just disgusted that yet again in the United Kingdom, it's another gun has cost another person's life. You know, unless you've got a license, these things are supposed to be fucking illegal in this country. Why are they still out there? Like, why are they? Why can people still get hold of them? You know, I mean, how much do we spend on the police service, fucking secret agencies, and all this kind of stuff, and yet guns are still getting into the United Kingdom, or even if they're being fucking made in the country? Why aren't we finding out where this shit is made? You know, we really, really need to tackle this and get it sorted straight away. Because if we don't, we leave ourselves open to a huge problem here. Like a huge problem. So, get it fucking sorted. One more story before we go. I don't even know. How long have I been on air now? Shit, it doesn't tell me. Well, anyone who's watching this on YouTube, you can let me know at some point after this video. Okie doke. Let's see. A UK Prime Minister has basically warned that Russia's going to be isolated, blah, blah, blah. Kind of discussed Russia in the last Drunken Rambles video. Oh, getting to be a bit worried now. Because I can see exactly where this is headed. Russia's not going to back down. There's going to be... Russia's not going to back down. There's going to be more sanctions put on. Russia will be financially brought to the point of bankruptcy, but they won't go bankrupt. And it will go to war. That's all that I can see happening with this. It's literally a case of, okay, 10 minutes, war starts. Is this going to be another Cold War? Don't know. Really don't know. I do want war to be averted. I don't want war to be an option, but Russia just isn't backing down on this at all. And yeah, the only way that I can see this is going to war. You know, the other day there was Ukraine. I think it was one Ukraine soldier was shot dead and another one injured. How that hasn't triggered anything off is completely past me already. You know, there's a point like last week or something, and it was literally a case of if anything happens, it goes to war, and it was literally minutes away from war happening. And you know, we've got a soldier shot dead, another one injured. No one's doing anything, really. Russia claims to have signed Crimea in as part of Russia. Crimea, at the same time, was also signed further into Europe. This isn't going to end well. Really isn't going to end well. And I'm really sorry to have to say this to any supporters out there, but this is down to the Russian government. It really is. I'm not saying it's down to Russia because Russia has normal people that live in the country. And I'm more than aware that people that live in Russia, not all of them, want what the government wants. You know, the government is pushing ahead with this thing, and not everyone agrees with it in Russia. And I think we really should point that out. You know, this shouldn't reflect on the people of Russia. Yes, there are people out there that say Crimea never should have left Russia, and it should always be part of Russia, and blah blah blah. But there is a lot of people in Russia that are speaking out against the violence, and their voices, unfortunately, are going unheard. So yeah, that's a load of fun. Okay, one more story. This is slightly disturbing. Last night in the United Kingdom, there was a program on called Sport Relief. The Sport Relief is basically trying to get people to be active in order to raise money for third world countries like Africa, as well as children here in the United Kingdom. It is a really good cause, but probably a few of you are going to disagree with me on this. Ooh, couldn't care less. Basically, I completely disagree with certain things around that program. The first thing to do with it is Sport Relief has a humongous amount of admin work to be done. Fair enough, you would expect that with any charity. Only the admin fees get taken out of the money that is raised. Why is that? If it's a charity, it's supposed to have people at work like volunteer their hours to do it, and yet we pay quite a lot in admin fees in sports relief and Children in Need as well, which is another BBC program. Why are the admin fees there? Don't get it. Um, Not only that, but £51 million was raised. Now, okay, fair enough, that is going to charity, and yes, eventually it will get through to these good causes and everything like that, but are we not supposed to be in a recession? We still have just £51 million lying around to go to other countries, yet £51 million could actually knock a bit off our deficit. Just saying. Um, More on from that, and this was discussed. If anyone watched, I did a live broadcast, my first ever live broadcast actually. I did that earlier on in the week, and then I did a Sky Plus call that was also live that we didn't know about. Sorry if you can hear that in the background. Sounds like fun. This is great living in an apartment block. Anyway, so one of the main things that actually disturbs me about the fact that we have to raise £51 million is the fact that drug companies are making a lot of money. One of the things that really got to me last night, I only watched Sport Relief for literally 20 minutes last night, if that, and they played this VT, and it was about children that have, oh God, what's the name of the disease now? They had a disease that affected them. It's something over here in the United Kingdom, in America, we have jabs for it, and we give it to kids early on, and it doesn't kill us much. Over there, they don't have the jabs because they don't have the money for it. And one jab costs £5, and that's it. You know, you could stop that child getting ill. The thing that got to me, or got me thinking about that, should I say, is, you know, when you look into how much these drug companies actually make, where's their £5 donation? You know, we say about all this money that we're going to raise, and we're going to send all these drugs over. I'm sorry, someone is still profiting from this, and I think it's about time that we addressed it, like really addressed it. You know, there is no chance I can pronounce the name. Have a look for a company called GSK. It's Glaxo Kiln Saxon something. I don't know what it is. It's GSK for short. GSK make a lot of drugs. They do a lot of research into drugs, everything like that. Now, GSK does make a profit. Of how much? Yeah, I'll let you look into that because I'll only get more pissed off. So they go ahead, they make this profit and everything like that, and we still have to fundraise for third countries, even though they make a profit. Why? And I'm not saying this to sound really bad to the actual third world countries, as in like your government can afford this, because I know in certain parts of the world there isn't a government. There isn't a government. There is no one that can actually afford it in them countries, and I'm not saying we shouldn't be doing what we can. I fully support we should be doing what we can. In fact, we actually should probably be doing a little bit more than what we can. I mean, throwing money at a problem obviously isn't solving a problem. But one of the things that we really, really need to look at is these drug companies. They're still making money, and yet look at the problems that we've got in the likes of Africa. You know, serious problems. You know, vomiting can kill someone over there. Vomiting. When's the last time that you heard of someone dying because they vomited in either the UK or America or Australia, something like that? When was the last time you heard that of happening? You know? we face some really big problems with the third world, and these are problems that these aren't new problems, but they're not getting addressed, and we need to change that. So, yeah, it's kind of my rant about it, um, about sports relief. But yeah, they raised 51 million, and if that 51 million was all gonna go over and sort out these problems, I would fully support it. But I know that there's little ways that the money just trickles out, and it never gets through to the public. It's not weird. But yeah, so that's basically it. That's my drunken rambles. I hope that anyone who's watching this live, I hope that you've enjoyed it. Anyone who's watching this later on, I hope you've enjoyed it as much as you can. And yeah, that's it. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys quite soon.